Tape www.suividecolosénégal.com. À École au Sénégal, c'est facile, tu n'as qu'à te connecter. Tape École au Sénégal, les leçons sont beaucoup plus détaillées.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's doing okay. This is Teacher Raisa. It is good to be back. It is good to serve you. And I hope that you're liking the videos and you're sharing them. It's the month of February, and I told you all that we'll be doing something a bit different. We're going to be talking about cultural heritage. And we started off by defining what cultural heritage was, and then we looked at some different aspects about it. We talked about traditions and festivals and holidays. And so today we're going to be looking at heroes and their history. Heroes, a hero. You know, unlike in the French that you have héros et héroïne, in English, a hero is a hero, be it female or male. We call them heroes. It's a hero. It doesn't change. It doesn't have a feminine attribute to it. Okay, so it's a hero. And then if there are a lot of them, they're called heroes. You see, you add an ES because it ends with an O. And so anything that ends with an O in plural, you do add an ES. So they're heroes and their history. And so heroes is something that is really particular to me because February is Black History Month. Okay, we do celebrate Black history, and it's wonderful because for a month, I think the Black race is the only race that we get to celebrate for a month. Do you know what that means? It means we have a lot to give. It means we have a lot of stories to tell. There is so much to talk about, so much to say about us, about the Black community, about the Black race. And so we do celebrate those that fought the good fight, okay? And so hero is someone that has touched lives, okay? Hero is someone that has done something extraordinary, that has gone beyond the normal core so that things get better. And there are a lot of them, so many of them that you cannot begin to count, that I may not even know all. But today we're going to be looking at a couple of them, probably maybe 8 or 9 of the heroes. And we're going to talk a little bit more about their history. So today is more about history so that you get to be educated, so that we get to know it, so that at least even if you don't know the name, the history, but at least you can identify a couple of them. At least today you get to know, even if it's just a synopsis of it, a little bit of these African heroes. So we'll start off with African heroes, and then we can probably go now to other, international Black heroes. Okay, and so, and it's unfortunate that I don't have the pictures, but I will try to put like a PowerPoint of it so that so we can share with you all, so you can see who these heroes are, so that in case you go somewhere, in case you stumble into the pictures, you should be able to identify that, this is Nelson Mandela, this is Steve Biko, this is Winnie Mandela, so that you'll be able to see them, okay, identify and know them, and you better know your history. You have got to know your history. It's important to know the African history, because the world today is because we Blacks made it, because we constructed it, because we worked hard for it. So you should know why the Black race is being celebrated for a month. There is a particular reason for that. Why is it so? Because we've gone through a lot. It's been years of toiling, years of sacrifice, years of working, centuries of harshness and digging and building and and pain and suffering and hard work. And you should know your history. It's important to know your background. It's important to know where you come from. And so today we're going to be looking at that, about heroes, especially Black heroes. I'm not saying that there are other heroes, there are other heroes from other races, there are Indian heroes, there are so many heroes, okay? But particularly because, to me, and because it's the month of February, let's start off with Black heroes. Charity begins at home. La charité, ça commence chez soi. So let's start off with Black history, okay? And so on the board, I have a list of them, and of course, one of the famous, the toppest, if they ask you the African hero, everybody's gonna say Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela, and there's a reason for Nelson Mandela. You see how he makes me smile when I think about him, because he's just he was an awesome person, okay? And so here I put Rulilala because it's the name that a lot of people don't know, and I need you to know that name because it's his African name. And here's Rulilala. What you don't know about Nelson Mandela is the fact that Nelson wasn't the name that his mama gave him. His mom never gave him Nelson. It was his English teacher while he was in school that gave him that name, Nelson. Why? Because the teacher felt that the Rulilala was too long a name, that it was too complicated a name, that it was too strong a name, that it was an African name, and so wanted to westernize him a little bit, wanted to change it a little bit, and so gave him the name Nelson. So that's how he got the name. That's how he got the white man's name. But his birth names were Rulilala Mandela. So his names are Nelson, Rulilala Mandela. Of course, you've heard about the other one, Mandimba. He's also called Mandimba. So Mandimba is, is one of those title names that he had, that he was given, that South Africans call him by. It's like the grandpa of South Africa. Okay, and so he's from South Africa, and he was born July 18th, 1918. Can you imagine? 1918 was he born, okay? And then, of course, he passed away. He died in 2013. Old, feebled, tired. He died at home with his family around, and it was wonderful. That is what he wanted, but he was a hero. But yes, people know the name Nelson Mandela, Nelson Rulilala Mandela, but who was he? What is it that he did? Where is he from? Why is he so much solicited? Why is he so much applauded? Why is he so much loved or known? We gotta understand that Nelson Mandela was born, like in 1918. And if you know the story in the years 1980, it was really in the heart and the core of colonization. And he was born in South Africa. And South Africa, of course, is in Africa. And so during that period in South Africa, they were going through a series of apartheid. Okay, they were going through apartheid. Okay, I'm going to write it here so you can see what apartheid, apartheid. And you might probably ask me, what is apartheid? Okay, apartheid, it is a sort of social segregation, okay, social injustice, where a social discrimination, where the white race or the white folks were at one corner, and then the blacks were at one corner, and then there was such a separation. That is apartheid, where the white people had almost the best stuff, had a better sort of living, and then the blacks were in the slums. They were in the ghetto, they were suffering, they were having the million jobs. And what is so fascinating about it is because it was in their own country. It was in their own country, and they were suffering that much. Things were not working out for them. And so they went through a series of apartheid where things were so unequal and economical and social injustice. And so Mandela did not like that. And you're going to say the white people in South Africa, yes. And these white people were the Dutch people, actually. A lot of them came from Netherlands, because you can imagine the first president of South Africa was a Dutchman. Okay, and he came from Netherlands. Can you imagine a white person leaving his country to come and become a president of a black man's country? So that was a problem. That's why you see today, present time South Africa, you have white South Africans, because their great-grand ancestors or fathers were Dutch, but they were Dutch South Africans. And so they came and had the best schools, went to the best hospitals, had best transportation. There was segregation. You get into the bus, there was a section for the blacks and the whites. They had restaurants only, white only. The beaches were white only, and blacks could not attain. The white collar jobs, you have what they call white collar jobs, which I really do not like the term. White collar jobs. White collar jobs. White collar jobs are like executive jobs, doctors, teachers. That's what they call white collar jobs. And that was meant only for the white people. And then, of course, you had the local jobs like tailor and housewives and nannies and drivers. And they thought that was better off for the blacks. And so when Nelson Mandela grew up very smart, went to university, and then it was time for him to go to have a better job. And so things were becoming hard because he could not have access to the best. And so he started a movement while in university. He started it to say that he was an anti-apartheid. He didn't want it. He wanted this apartheid story to end. He said, this is Africa. We can have the best of it. We should have equal opportunity, okay? I want to go to the best schools. I want to have a good education. I want to have the best jobs. And so that became a problem. And so that is how the fight against apartheid started. The movement against apartheid started, okay? And so Nelson Mandela is a pacifist, okay? He was named a pacifist. Please take note of pacifist. Pacifist is someone that wants change, but wants it in a calm manner, okay? He didn't want war. He did not like war. He did not want fights. He was a peacemaker. And so pacifists are actually peacemakers, but looking for change, seeking transformation. And so that was who he was. He was a pacifist. He was an anti-apartheid. He was anti-colonialist. He didn't want the issue of colonialism. And so he fought for it. And during that fight, he went through ups and downs, okay? And during the fight, one of those fateful nights, he got arrested, and then he was sent to an island. So they took him and they sent him away, way in the middle of an island, way out of South Africa, in the middle of an island called the Robben Island, okay? The Robben Island. The Robben Island. Okay, he was sent to Robben Island, where he was locked up for 27 years. Do you know what that means? To be locked up for 27 years. He had a small confined room with a little window, in the middle of water, in the middle of nowhere, because it was an island, just because they wanted to take him out of the country. And he was locked there for 27 years. Okay? And he was actually given life imprisonment. When he got caught and got charged and got ruled, he was given life imprisonment, implying that he was supposed to forever be locked up and die in jail. But thank God, apartheid stopped. It got crumbled. It got stopped. It got eradicated. And so because of that, because of a lot of international intervention and people talking and people intervening and people's actions, international actions, especially the pressure internationally, apartheid got stopped. And so when apartheid crumbled, the president then, released him. The president released Nelson Mandela. And so when he got released, so he went home. And then when he got released, 4 years later, he became the first black president of South Africa. The first black president. The first president after apartheid to rule South Africa. That was a big deal. That was an awesome deal. Okay? And then of course we know that he had 4 kids. 4 kids. When he was going to be locked up, the last girl, his last child, was 2 years old. So you can imagine not seeing the kids for 27 years. So when he got out, the last girl was almost 30. That's a whole lifetime, 27 years or so. And yet while in jail, he still did the job. He would write letters, he would support the cause, he would check out on his people. He never relented. He never gave up, but he was still a pacifist. He didn't want no killings, he didn't want no war. It was a peaceful march past if there was any, and that's how it was. Really anti-apartheid person, a pacifist, a lawyer by profession, and so that is Nelson. That's his story. Because of him, apartheid was eradicated because he never gave up, And so he passed away, like I said, in 2013 because he was a president. But then along the course, he got divorced to Winnie Mandela. I'm sure everybody has heard of Winnie. He got divorced and then got married to another lady called Marcia Garcia. So he got married to Marcia. So it's with Marcia Garcia that they did rule South Africa for a term or so. okay, and so until he passed away, okay, and so that is why Nelson Mandela is a symbol of unity. He's a symbol of the African struggle. He's a symbol of peace march. He's a symbol of peace, of persistence, of insistence. You know, that is Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. You should know him, you know, and look, get into the course of it. Why is it that he's celebrated? Okay, and he has seen a lot of world leaders because he was such a gentle soul, okay, and so that is Nelson Mandela. There's so much about him, and I hope that you could do the research, but that is just in general, in summary, in a nutshell, about Nelson Mandela and his story. And then we have Winnie Madikizela.